And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com. You know the drill, www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Get down to Dayton, Kentucky. Tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15% off of your order. That's Wednesday through Sunday, lunch and dinner, or they will deliver right to your front door, pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop. So get yourself some of that Galactic goodness. It is out of this world. Hi, Aaron.
Yo.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, just hanging at mom's.
Dun-dun, dun-dun. Dun, 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 dun,
I have some out there. Like, I got it too. Super happy about it.
The liquor store right by my house had 2 12-packs left.
The Shell station right around the corner here had a surprisingly large beer cave, and they probably had 30 last night. So I was stoked.
I'm in like the heart of Northern Kentucky.
Look,
and
I'm not telling where I got mine because I don't want
to. I'm in the heart of Northern Kentucky. They had sold all of theirs and said he had a shipment of 20 more cases that were coming in on Monday because they can't keep it in stock.
I'm hoping to grab 2 more on my way out of town tomorrow.
I had are you sure you can drive home with them? They're going to be okay?
Look, I'm just going to drive fast, 2 hours. Yeah.
Just see if you can get them warm.
Not there.
Where they're on display. No, theirs are all in the beer cave.
Yeah.
You could buy a cooler, like a styrofoam. Put them in the styrofoam cooler. That'll keep them cold.
Yeah. I'm just going to drive fast.
It's so good.
I drive the car that has air conditioning issues, so I won't have any kids. I can go a little faster than I might normally.
I introduced it to some friends that aren't UC fans, and they proclaimed at that price point with that taste, like, all right, it's my new easy drinker, even though.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this is the beer that they tried to do with Cheetah, and
they made this too good. Like, it's too good.
It's surprisingly good. And it doesn't.
I had somebody.
I feel like it doesn't even feel
aftertaste. Yeah.
It doesn't feel like you feel bloated afterwards.
Right. I had somebody text me today, and I don't know if this is accurate or not, so I'm not reporting it as accurate. But this person, I have no reason to believe that they're lying to me, that it has been by far the biggest release in Rhinegeist history.
Well,
they can't keep it stocked
for a good cause.
Yeah, and it's a damn good beer.
It's a really good beer.
All right, let's get to Camp Scrimmage number 1. The whole crew was there. Me, you, Brent, Dave, Keegan, Reagan, pretty much everybody.
Everybody that covers football, yeah.
But yeah. So it was an excellent turnout. So look for that. Reagan will have stuff up on Instagram and YouTube here. Keegan has an article already up. I'm sure maybe we'll get him and Dave or whatever involved tomorrow to get their thoughts on things, with tomorrow being an off day. But it was, I tell you what, the defense set the tone early. Like the first, 4 notes that I have were the Deshaun Pace hit on Corey Kiner, which he took it easy on him. That could have been ugly.
Yep.
Because if you throw a swing pass into the flat to Deshaun Pace's side, he's going to hit you hard.
Yep.
And he did.
And we saw that, right.
Yeah. We had a Justin Watley strip sack around DeAndre Buford at right tackle. We had a
Dorian Jones.
Dorian Jones.
Yep.
Smoked Miles Montgomery. And then Brian Threats hit Braden Smith on a short route for little gain. So, within the first 2 possessions, there were 4 big statements by the defense.
And I think 3 of the aforementioned were all on one possession. I think the Brian Threats one came on the second possession, and I think that was when you started to see Lichtenberg in there with some of the second team.
Well, Threats would have been with the first team, but after that,
well, I don't know. Then all 4 were on the first drive.
Yeah, all 4. I tell you what, the first quarter of that scrimmage,
they came out on fire.
It was almost all first team. Satterfield ran the second team. I think one of the first 7 reps was the second team. Everything else was the first team. So I think he wanted to get a sense of what do we got on both sides.
Dogs in the face.
I
know. That said, though, it took at least one full drive for the offense to really get clicking, especially the ones. When the 2s did come out after that first drive by the ones, I thought Ryan Montgomery looked really solid. It seemed that he was touching the ball. I felt like it seemed he was touching the ball 7, 8, 9 times out of 10 for their drive that was more than one. It wasn't a 3 and out like the one's first drive was. But Ryan Montgomery, I don't think he was the best back today, but he certainly looked good, I thought.
He made a case for himself. I mean, I thought, but Corey and Miles both had moments as well. And Miles with the 75-yard touchdown.
That's what I said. I don't think Ryan was the best back today. Yeah. I think Miles, in my opinion, was the best.
I thought so too.
He looks most comfortable in this offense, and his 75-yard touchdown was not a fluke.
It kind of was.
I disagree.
I'm told, I didn't see it from the angle that we were at. I'm told there was a massive hold by DeAndre Buford to open the Mack truck size hole that he ran through.
When I say it's not a fluke, I think the point I'm trying to make is
he outran the defense.
I think he's the only one on this team as it currently stands that is capable of having that breakaway extra gear where he can outrun anyone on the field.
Yeah. They things did kind of start to open up a little bit after that Miles touchdown. It was all defense early. Like the first 20 minutes of the practice, it was, I think the only first down in the first 6 or 7 periods was a name. Maybe we need to get to know this name a little bit. Second team tight end, Michael McCalman. He's a redshirt junior from Mason. He's a walk-on. And he has been kind of the pass-catching option at tight end of the second team. He made 3 or 4 pretty good catches today. So,
I mean, there were some guys I even had in my notes. The first big play by the offense in my notes wasn't actually that play by Miles. It was Emery to Peyton Singletary for about 40 yards.
Well, that was right after the Miles touchdown.
Okay.
So, the Miles touchdown.
You're right. I do have that. After the second 3 and out, the one's got a 75-yard Miles touchdown run.
Yeah.
Right after the Peyton Singletary catch, we saw Evan Prater make his first catch as a receiver in the scrimmage.
Yeah, short day.
He got a little dinged up.
Big hit by Ken Willis. He looked fine. He was,
Ken Willis had a couple
bang.
Couple knucklehead plays that you'll have from a sophomore.
I don't think it was dirty. I didn't think that.
You just don't need to go tackle somebody like that. I don't think in a scrimmage.
It's hard, when you're in that position and the guy's coming across the middle.
It's tough. It's tough.
There's going to be a hit.
I guess what I was getting at was he was the one that was responsible for an offsides penalty that ended up on a third down that ended up extending the drive for the offense.
Yeah. I think here's what's interesting on that, Aaron. I think it is really difficult for some of these DBs to adjust to being a blitzer.
I don't doubt
that. It's not something that, Ken Willis is what?
Sophomore?
5'11", 180. That's not a guy that's blitzed a ton in his football career.
No.
So that's
redshirt freshman, I guess.
Yeah, redshirt freshman. You're going to have to continue to work on timing, and that's something that Deshaun Pace is outstanding at now.
Sure.
is that timing of when the snap and when to hit it. And Ken Willis definitely, that was a costly one.
Yeah.
There were some costly turnovers. A lot of them offensive line centric. Couple jumps early. There was a lot of back and forth on the O-line, D-line. The D-line jumped a couple times. The O-line jumped a couple times. But I'll tell you this. When you're that O-line and you're still figuring out your groove and you're playing this defense that's trying to get upfield at, 6 different positions on every snap, I get why you get a little jumpy.
Fair.
I get why you might get a little jumpy. I had Greshik with a sack.
Yep. In the red zone.
Yeah. Emory Jones then answered that with a nice touchdown run up the middle for 13 yards untouched.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
We saw not just Emory on that play, but we saw several red zone RPOs go for touchdowns today. And if that's what we're going to see in the red zone, I think this team has an opportunity to have far better success than this team had in the red zone last season.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult.
It wasn't something that was in Ben's arsenal.
Yeah, right. That wasn't really like a play you couldn't comfortably call like a Ben Bryant quarterback delay or an RPO. It just wasn't something he was great at.
But that's something that this team struggled with last season, was scoring in the red zone. Yeah. And I think that this is going to open that playbook up quite a bit more, having just a different style and a different approach in the red zone. So I was pleasantly surprised with the success that this team saw against this defense in particular in the red zone today in this scrimmage.
Yep. First pick of the day, DJ Turner with a pick on Lichty.
Yep.
And then the only other pick of the day was your guy, Bridges, with a pick on Brady Drogosh.
That was a hell of a play. He just stepped in front of that again in the red zone. He caught it, I think, at the goal line. And I don't know if that would have gone for a touchback or if it would have been the offense starting in a terrible position at like the 1 yard line.
Right.
But it was a hell of a play by a guy that has not seen the field a ton in his time here at Cincinnati.
They did a couple reps of working from jail, I guess as it's kind of called. They started at the 1 yard line with 99 yards to go. The first thing we saw was Emory Jones to Braden Smith over the top for what looked like that ball was in the air for 50, 55 yards.
It was I had 50 in my notes.
Yeah. It was in the air for a long time, and Braden Smith ran right under it, and he almost broke the shoestring tackle to take it to the house.
He did.
And then, shortly thereafter,
play of the day?
Probably. Yeah, how is a 99-yard touchdown not the play of the day?
And if it wasn't that, it was Miles' 75-yard, I would think.
Yeah. The only caveat to Miles is there apparently was a very blatant hold.
If there wasn't a flag, and there were refs today, if there wasn't a flag, it doesn't count.
You're right. There wasn't a flag. It counted as a 75-yard touchdown. I just heard from people that had a better angle than me.
Look, in a game situation, if there isn't a flag,
right, it's touchdown.
There were 6 refs.
Brady Drogosh goes and I think an interesting thing today. I asked Sad about this. Brady Lichtenberg's the number 2 quarterback. Brady Drogosh was primarily with the 3s. Lichtenberg is with the 2s. Emory Jones is with the 1s. So we're starting to see that hierarchy. Yeah. I thought Brady Lichtenberg had a really, really good day. But anyway, Drogosh goes right, gets the sideline, and outruns a bunch of DBs 99 yards to the house.
Todd Bumphus did get a hand on him at the end. He kind of pushed him into the end zone.
He wasn't going to tackle him.
He wasn't going to tackle him. He did. No. He got a hand on him. But again, just a hand that pushed him into the end zone.
I mean, Brady Drogosh is a big dude.
He's fast.
He's got wheels, and he's a big dude. That's a good look at him.
We know that he's going to be the 3rd string, but I was very happy with the production we saw out of Brady Drogosh, and that's not a knock on Brady Lichtenberg, who I was equally surprised and happy with his production today. We saw him do the Doug Flutie jump pass. We saw him scampering around quite a bit with that sneaky speed that we talk about. Again, he at least had one touchdown, if not two. I thought he had two, where he scampered into the end zone on an RPO. But he looked good, and he looked in sync with his receivers that he's been working with the twos.
Yeah. Him and Chris Scott have a really good connection going right now. They had a field goal drive where he went 18 yards to Scott, then he hit McCalmont for 10 or 12, then he went back to Chris Scott for 25.
Prater had a couple.
Yeah. Isaiah Cox with a pass breakup. I'm going to continue mentioning this guy's name because he continues impressing me. And I think, and I'll talk to Dave about this when we get a chance, but Dave's comment was he's going to help him. Linebacker Dion Hunter, the New Mexico transfer, who wasn't one of the splashy summer additions, but he's come in and been an anchor on that second team in one of those two middle linebacker spots. So him and Jonathan Thompson have gotten a lot of run there. And you guys know I'm a huge Jonathan Thompson fan. I think he's going to be really good down the road.
Yeah, if you're talking about some of the second team guys, Kalen Carroll had a pass breakup that should have gone for a pick six.
Yeah.
That was still a good play. Could have been a great play, but a good play. Tyler Gillison, he was getting a little bit of runs with the ones towards the end. But
him and Jamal Williams rotate in there. They kind of switch up when Greshik gets a breather. I thought Gilly was really good today. I thought Jamal was solid today. I thought Gilly flashed a couple times. He's in my notes.
I think this is where we're getting to see, though, that thing that Satterfield was talking about just a couple days ago, where you're starting to see that depth build, and you're starting to see what this team is really made of beyond the ones, especially on defense, that we already knew about.
He's not there yet, but I do have a freshman that's going to be potentially very, very good as a Bearcat. Can you guess?
A freshman?
Yep, true freshman.
That's not Barry Jackson.
No, this is defense.
On defense? I don't know who you got.
Brian Sims.
I did look. I don't know if I had him in my notes at this point, but I did look. I remember looking at the sheet and seeing,
he looks good, man. I mean, they've got him listed at 6'3", 250. They had him listed at linebacker. He was playing D-end.
Yeah.
Today, I wonder if he's maybe adding some good weight or just has been, instead of that dog position, they're kind of playing him in that, Eric Phillips, like get up the field, pass rush D-end. He's caught my eye a couple times, especially today. It's like 2 or 3 times today because he's only got one number on his back. The 7 has been removed from his practice jersey in some way, shape, or form. So you just see the 1, and there's no 1. Which, if you had a defensive line of 0, 1, and 2, that might be the best D line ever. But that's a true freshman that is definitely on my long-term watch list of guys that have a chance.
I did want to mention at one point, I remember looking over at Keegan today, and I told him that I wished I was as good as Mason Fletcher is at kicking balls at anything.
I wish I was as good at anything.
At anything in my life. I want to be good at anything in my life as Mason Fletcher is at punting the ball.
Yeah. Braden Smith looks to be the number 1 punt returner, which is interesting. He was well, no, but it's just not something we haven't seen them go live.
I'll give you that it's interesting. I'm just not surprised.
No, I'm not surprised.
As much as we talk about him being electric, why wouldn't you want the ball in his hands? Yeah. I also wanted to mention that Xavier Henderson was running as a gunner at one point, and he nearly had a fumble recovery at the gunner's position on a botched punt return. I don't believe that was on. I don't think that was Braden Smith, though, was it?
I think Braden just did 1 or 2 on the day.
Yeah,
he was clean on both. They've got a lot of guys they want to try there. Obviously, Ryan Montgomery is a guy that's been very reliable. They like DJ Turner potentially in that role. So yeah, a lot of different options. Or DJ Taylor. Why do I keep saying DJ Turner?
I don't know. I always think DJ Tanner from Full House.
So. DJ Taylor. I'm sorry, DJ. That's on me, bro. It's on me. It's probably their fault. What else you got? Anything?
No, I think those were the big plays that stood out for me today, and the big. Yeah, I mean we covered pretty much all of my notes at that point.
Overall, the defense was great early.
Yeah.
The offense found a rhythm. I do, and we'll get to this as I don't want to get too in depth tonight because we've already gone long. They need some more chain moving plays. They thrive today on big down the field chunk plays. They're going to need to add some more 3, 4, 5, 6 yard options in this.
And I'm sure you didn't really open the playbook to a publicly open scrimmage.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, that's whatever. You're working on what you want to work on.
I get it.
So I'm not gonna give them that excuse that crutch to lean on this.
I will.
We're different. We're built different. That's the nightcap. We'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. I'll get some notes up tomorrow, but this is your summary as it stands. Thanks to Galactic Fried Chicken right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.